Thank you for stopping by today. And in today's video, we are going to discuss about a discussion that I had with my friends a couple of weeks ago about, how marketing is. And we were getting kind of with the elements of the advertisement and also the sales perspective, and we really didn't get into the conclusion that what exactly and how this whole thing performs in itself. So if you haven't seen us before, I am Neema Kumari, lead strategic operations at Internet Nayak. He is Shivan Raha, founder of Internet Nayak, and at Internet Nayak we help health experts to become the most trusted brand in their market. So Shivan, to get started with, like I said, correct. So a health expert, how they should be seeing this marketing like as a whole, correct? And if you could just walk us through this whole process.
Sure. And that's a very interesting discussion, I guess people must have thought, because especially health experts, because their work revolves around healing people, they don't have time to think around all this.
Right.
So whenever the term marketing comes, they think that marketing is all about advertising or sales. That's
Right.
it. That's why they confuse the terms. They say a salesperson that you have come down to market your product, and they call a marketing person that he's into sales.
So true. Yes.
Right. So why this happens is because it's just a lack of information, right?
Yeah.
So if I have to explain in the most simplest term, marketing is an umbrella word. It's like a ship which is built on a lot of pillars.
Okay.
So when we say that we have to market this product or we have to do a marketing of a certain product, then that is the whole a whole ship that we are talking about. Now the pillars on which this ship is built are multiple.
Okay.
Some of them are, one is advertisement, obviously, that you know about. So advertisement, as you know, it's like advertising your product, letting other people know that you exist or your service exists, right? The second thing is publicity. The third thing is public relations. The fourth thing is your branding, right? That's where the main mistake happens. People do their or build their assets in colorful formats. So it's not like that. You see any big brand, right? They have very static colors, very consistent colors, or consistent fonts, or consistent existence. That's how you remember someone, right? That is branding. That is again one of the pillars. Then comes sales. So when you put all these pillars together and put the strategy around these pillars together, that's how you build the ship of marketing. And because you don't look at like this, like the whole marketing as a whole as a whole ship, right? So that's why you perceive marketing your brand or service as a cost, not as an investment. When you look at these pillars individually and try to stack each and everything like a tower of Jenga, when you stack each and everything correctly, that's when the whole marketing holds.
Wow. That is making a lot of sense now, like where we were stuck also, correct?
Yeah.
Because we were seeing as an individual
Yeah.
approach
Yeah.
and trying to optimize only that approach.
Yes.
And not looking into the other.
Without realizing that if you don't optimize your advertisements, then your sales would suffer. Although I don't like the word sales in health, but it's okay. It's a
okay,
transaction is not supported by how you are doing your advertisements maybe, or how your PR is.
Understood. This makes a lot of sense. So again, now if let's say a healthcare expert, okay, if they're getting into the marketing and so what they should be looking into the marketing, what are the different, like the mediums of types of marketing? It's again, as you've explained previously, it's not just one single pillar. It's the add-on stuffs, right? So if you could just tell us or walk us through.
So now in this century, when anyone talks about marketing, they suddenly think about digital marketing, right?
Yes.
or or if you ask an like in person who have done their career peak in 90s or maybe in early 2000s, then you ask them marketing. For them, marketing would be pamphlet distribution or an paper ad or a radio ad,
Okay.
right? Just go back a bit again in 1980s, it would be limited to paper ads and pamphlets,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? So technically, you need to understand there are different mediums of marketing.
Oh.
You do marketing or you market your brand successfully when you understand these mediums and understand what sort of a budget you have.
Oh.
So to put into perspective, broadly there are two categories of mediums. The first category is above the line and the second category is below the line. Now above the line is any medium which appeals or talks to mass media. Now above the line mediums includes television, paper ads, radio ads, those hoardings, WH hoardings, right, that you put. So these all come into above the line. Digital marketing also somewhat falls in the above the line criteria, right?
Okay.
There you are appealing to mass media and the communication is more or less one-way communication wherein you try to get the interest from people, right? That's why you see on a hoarding that call us to book an appointment or something like that, right? Now the second category of marketing is below the line marketing. Now below the line marketing is a point where you try to establish a communication with the customer. Now this could be any sort of an small scale event if you are doing, or maybe a canopy activation, like you go to malls or in front of a clinic there is a canopy put out and there is some sort of a drive happening there, right? That is a below the line activity. Or you do a lot of direct mail maybe, or maybe you do a lot of pamphlet activation, so that is below the line criteria. Now the art is that how you distribute your budget among these mediums, right? Because the problem is if you're limited by just one medium, let's say you have a budget of $10,000 or 10 lakh rupees and you want to market yourself, right? And you end up putting those whole 10 lakh rupees on a paper ad.
Okay.
Then you won't be able to get that throughput or that, that effectiveness that could have brought. Rather, you could have mixed or distributed your efforts across these mediums. If you were aware about these fine lines, then you can do a balance of everything.
Okay. Okay, just to collect it all together.
Uh-huh.
So you're trying to say, if let's say for an example, I want to open a clinic,
Okay.
correct? And I'm looking into this approaches of marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, I shouldn't be going with one specific, an approach. So you're
Yeah.
trying to say a mix of both or something like that?
You can do, depending upon your budget, you can do a mix of couple of things as well.
Okay.
So you said that you want to open a clinic in an
Right.
area in a city,
Right.
right? So hypothetically, what you can do is, in this case, what sort of budget you might have? Just give me, because you need to have a budget clarity.
Okay,
first.
let's say an example of $10,000.
$10,000 is your budget.
Wow.
Amazing. Now, how you would or you should actually distribute your budget is, a part of your budget, somewhere around 30-35% of your budget could be allocated to social media ads,
Okay.
right? Because you can hyper focus your social media ads to a city, although you cannot hyper focus it to a very specific area. Because again, digital marketing also has a lot of things in itself.
Right.
So that's why I'm terming it as social media ads, not as digital media ads, right?
Got it.
So you can 30-35% you can invest there. 10-15% maybe you can invest in some BTL activities. Those could be canopy activations, which complement the social media activation that's happening. Some part of it, like 20-30% of it, you can invest in a lot of pamphlet activations,
Okay.
right? That would be very hyper local, focused around like 2 kilometer diameter of your clinic, wherever you're opening the clinic, and rest 10 to 15, I guess we have done 100%, only 10 to 15 is left. That could be very much focused on paper ad as well for that area, or a jacket ad, like in that specific area. So that's how you distribute among the mediums, so that every medium complements each other and your messaging is consistent across all the mediums, so that people are exposed across mediums and across ways, and you are able to get a lot of eyeballs or visibility in that sense.
Okay, okay. So this puts me in again another follow-up question, right? One is the medium, right, that we are seeing, and other things are the ways to, you know, market, correct? So there is physical and there is digital, correct?
Yeah.
So if I want to get into the digital aspect, so is something that is changing over there? If you could just tell me.
Cool. So if now we started our talk around how one should look at marketing, right? So when you look at marketing, then you have to look at marketing as a system which is dependent upon a lot of smaller blocks.
Understood,
right?
Yep.
Now these days everybody wants to go digital, right? And they term digital marketing that they want to do digital marketing. Now you need to understand again, when you come to digital marketing, although digital marketing is a subset of ATL that we talked about, but digital marketing in itself is a ship which is dependent upon a lot of smaller pillars. Now one of the pillar is social media marketing. That's why I said that you need to invest on social media marketing.
Understood, yeah.
The second is your Google marketing or your local keywords technically, right? So that is known by the name of Google Business Marketing as well, or Google My Business as well. So that is one of the pillars in local, like your keywords need to be activated there. Then maybe you have your website as well, right? So that is one of the pillars, right? Now when you put all these pillars together, right, you have your YouTube as well, that comes under social media. Facebook and Instagram also comes under social media. So maybe you would not try to start with everything. Maybe you would try to start with Facebook and Instagram marketing only. Because when you would concentrate your efforts, your 35% of the budget that I mentioned on social media marketing, and in social media marketing also you focus all that 35% of the budget in just Facebook and meta advertising, then that's where you would be able to generate multiple impressions or attract multiple eyeballs on your ad, rather than distributing that 35% across across Facebook, across YouTube, then across Google listing advertisements as well. Then that would again fragment your efforts there. So pick one thing, go 100% there, lead there, get a substantial amount of attention from there, which converts into some sort of a revenue, then move to another format, so that you create an omnipresence everywhere.
Okay, that's very insightful, honestly, because the way you have walked us through from beginning, from the marketing, then you came to the medium of the marketing, and the ways you can do it, correct? Like really insightful. If you want to sum this up for our viewers, saying that if you are a healthcare expert and you are getting into this marketing from the start, so what would that the takeaway would be?
Yes, so if I have to sum everything, whatever I said just now, whenever you look at marketing, don't just look at something which is limited to one medium. As we have discussed about in this, there are multiple mediums. So always try, if you have a substantial budget, always try to spread across 2 or 3 different mediums, not all the mediums, so that you can create a multiple eyeball effect and multiple attraction you can create. And especially if you are watching this in 2026, when digital marketing comes into play, don't think that you have to activate ads everywhere, on Google listings as well, and on your social media as well, and on YouTube as well, because you need to understand 95% of the people in your local vicinity who are using Facebook, they are using Google, and they are the only people who are using YouTube. So if you dominate one platform first, then you would be able to get better ROI on your marketing. Maybe optimize your different, like your Google listings and your YouTube. I'm not saying you to be not present there. Optimize them, but don't invest in a lot of paid push there. do a lot of paid push in Facebook and Meta, dominate there first, and then after that, when you feel like you have already exhausted that platform, then move to another platform.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And yes, I think now the whole question of, why we were confused,
Yeah.
because it in itself,
It's just a fine line.
it's just a fine lines, and we were actually seeing marketing as a standalone of, look, fine, it's just advertisement or it's just sales
That's the
perspective.
most common mistake everybody
Exactly,
does.
but rather it's like the whole ecosystem working all together,
Yeah.
and also complementing each other.
True
Right?
that.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.